The All Assam Students Union, whose top leaders were members of the centre's high-level committee on Clause 6 of Assam Accord, today released the confidential report stating that the public has the right to know the details. Well, top AASU leaders released the report at a press conference in Guwahati today. And none of the other members of the 14-member committee except Advocate Niloy Dutta attended the news conference. Meanwhile, chairman of the now-dissolved high-level committee, Justice Retired Biplab Kumar Sharma, said it was the AASU's decision to release the report and pointed out the committee had given 2 years' time to the government for implementation of its recommendations. We have this report. The All Assam Students Union today made public the highly confidential high-level committee report on Clause 6 of Assam Accord. The AASU argued that it has been forced to make the report public as the government was allegedly sitting idle on it. Addressing media persons in Guwahati, top AASU leaders sought a clarification on the status of the Clause 6 report, recommendations for implementation, which was submitted back in February. AASU President Dipankar Nath, General Secretary Lurinjyoti Gogoi and Chief Advisor Samujal Bhattacharya briefed the media on the issue. Besides, Senior Advocate Niloy Dutta also joined the presser via video conference. All 4 are members of Clause 6 committee. Significantly, none of the remaining 10 members of the committee, including Chairman Justice Retired Biplab Sharma, attended the press meet, whether in person or virtually. The 141-page report, which has now come into the public domain, has recommended 1st January 1951 as the cut-off date to define Assamese people as mentioned in the Assam Accord. As per the definition worked out by the committee, members of the Assamese community, including Assamese Muslims, all indigenous tribal communities, other indigenous communities, and all citizens of the country and their descendants residing in Assam on or before 1st January 1951 would come to be regarded as Assamese people. To be precise, the term Assamese people shall be construed as any citizen of India who is a part of Assamese community residing in the territory of Assam on or before 1st January 1951 or any indigenous tribal community of Assam residing in the territory of Assam on or before 1st January 1951 or any other indigenous community of Assam residing in the territory of Assam on or before 1st January 1951 or all other citizens of India residing in the territory of Assam on or before 1st January 1951 and descendants of the above categories. Besides, the report also recommended a host of other steps like the implementation of inner line permit in the state and upper house in the state with seats reserved for Assamese people, at least 80% reservation for Assamese people in the state assembly and local bodies, separate board for preservation of Namghars and Hotros, land rights for Assamese people, besides sealing the porous border with Bangladesh, among others. The top AASU leaders sought to know where was the Clause 6 report and whether the centre was working towards its implementation. They added that secrecy of the report has already been compromised, with the details coming out in parts in media.
এতিয়া 6 নম্বৰ দফা কথা কৈছিল যে 6 নম্বৰ দফাৰ কমিটিয়ে প্ৰতিবেদন দিলে আমি কাৰ্যকৰী কৰিম। কমিটিয়ে সময়ত ৰিপৰ্ট দিছে আৰু কমিটিয়ে ৰিপৰ্ট দিয়াৰ পিছত কমিটি কিন্তু মনে মনে আছে। আজি 5 মাহ আমি মনে মনে আছো। অসমৰ ৰাইজৰ জনাৰ অধিকাৰ আছে যে অসমৰ খিলঞ্জীয়া মানুহৰ সাংবিধানিক ৰক্ষা কবচ কি, আমাৰ সুৰক্ষাৰ ব্যৱস্থাটো সম্পৰ্কত উচ্চস্তৰীয় কমিটিয়ে কি ক'লে জনাৰ অধিকাৰ আছে। দাড়ি কমা সহ কাৰ্যকৰী কৰিম বুলি কৈছিল, আমি ভাবিছিলো কাৰ্যকৰী কৰি দেখুৱাব। যেহেতু দাড়ি কমা সহ কাৰ্যকৰী কৰা নাই, আনকি ৰাজহুৱাও কৰা নাই, 5 মাহ পিছত ৰাইজে আমাক সুধিছে নহয়।
এই প্ৰতিবেদন সম্পৰ্কত অসম চৰকাৰ কেন্দ্ৰীয় গৃহ মন্ত্ৰণালয় অসমৰ জনসাধাৰণক জনাব বা ইয়াৰ কাৰ্যকৰীকৰণৰ কাৰণে তেওঁলোকৰ যিটো ৰূপৰেখা আছে, যিটো তেওঁলোকৰ পৰিকল্পনা আছে, এই পৰিকল্পনা তেওঁলোকে অসমৰ জনসাধাৰণক জনাব। কিন্তু অতি আশ্চৰ্যজনকভাৱে 5 মাহ অতিক্ৰম কৰিলে এই প্ৰতিবেদন এতিয়া গৃহ মন্ত্ৰণালয়ৰ হাতত আছে নে এই প্ৰতিবেদন এতিয়া অসম চৰকাৰ মুখ্যমন্ত্ৰীৰ হাতত আছে, এই কথা অসমৰ জনসাধাৰণে নাজানে, জনতাই নাজানে, কি আছে তাকো নাজানে।
The high-level committee on the implementation of Clause 6 of Assam Accord, headed by Justice Retired Biplab Kumar Sharma, had submitted its report to Assam Chief Minister Sarbananda Sonowal on February 25th. Speaking to Northeast Live, Committee Chairman Justice Retired Biplab Kumar Sharma said the panel had given 2 years' time to the centre to implement the recommendations, and it has just been 5 months now.
So our recommendation was that you implement it, all the clauses, as soon as possible, but preferably within a period of 2 years. And for that purpose, we also suggested in the report that a committee should be constituted to be headed by a Supreme Court retired judge or a High Court retired judge. And invariably AASU members will be there, All Assam Students Union organizations, associations members will be there. And they will monitor the implementation. So already by now 5 months have gone, and that 2 years duration that we had suggested, that is yet to be over. So there is still time to implement the clauses.
Justice Retired Sharma added that while he had nothing much to say on AASU's decision to make a sealed report public, the situation could have been better handled.
Since it is in the seal cover, so it is for the appropriate authority to consider it, publish it, whatever they want to do. But as members of the committee are entitled to copies of the inquiry, this report, they were handed over with the report. They are in possession of the report. So in their individual capacity or an organization, or in the capacity of an organization, if they had published the report, that is for them. I am nobody to say on that. My view will be that before publication, perhaps the government could have been demanded that you make it public or you publish it for onward transmission to all the people of Assam.
While it is clear that there is still ample time for the centre to work on the recommendations of the high-level committee on Clause 6, the AASU's bid to try and corner the government on the issue is certain to evoke some response. With inputs from Zahir Akram, News Desk Report, Northeast Live.